Here in this picture you see an AI generated image of machines on the left side, and on the right side you see some packages. So the packages are the spare parts of the machines, and on the right corner at the bottom you see a screen with Odoo dashboard, or looks different but should look like Odoo dashboard. And that's more or less what I want to talk about today. So about a multinational company which sells machines all over the world, and they want to try to exchange the data from a local system, from a child system, to the holding company. And we want to transmit the data via Odoo and Excel file. Let me explain you that in the following slides, how we did that. So first of all, I want to show you my agenda, so how I split my talk into. I split the talk into 6 parts. First of all, I want to talk about us, so my person and Braintec. Afterwards, the use case, so what we did there and what should be the future process. Afterwards, how we solved everything in Odoo. And then we jump into the demo and I show you what we did there. And at the end, the Q&A session. So, to my person, my name is André Draga, and I'm living in Switzerland and work at the office in Zurich. I work now for 2 years at Braintec, and I manage there several projects. One of the biggest projects is SV Group, where we did some customizations. For example, that a restaurant manager can plan his menus and publish the menus later to the website of SV Group. And yeah, if you want to hear more about SV Group and what we did there for customizations, you can as well join a talk on Friday from my colleague who's sitting also here in the audience, Friday at 12 p.m. And we also have other project together where we did do migration, and we have there tomorrow our go live meeting. And yeah, I managed as well some small projects where we did small customizations and more in standard. So we try always to work in standard at Braintec. And yeah, so enough about my person and the projects. Let me tell you a little bit about Braintec. So who's Braintec? Braintec is a consulting company who does also customizations, but as I said, we always try to stay in the standard. And we as Braintec, we are Gold partner and work really close together with the mother house Odoo. We are not also only Gold partner in Switzerland, as well in Germany and Austria. And we can really proud say that we are awarded 4 times again as Best Odoo Partner Europe. Last time was last year, unfortunately this year not, but we will see what happens next year. Everything that we do is 100% dedicated to Odoo. As well, internally we work with Odoo, and we can say we have the most certified employees in the company as a partner worldwide. I think that's enough of the facts from Braintec. So let me directly jump into the use case. So what's the use case here? As I mentioned at the beginning, with here a company which want to exchange his data from the child company to the mother company, to the holding, and need for that a special mapping for the financial accounts, for example, and as well to do reports and consolidate the data and bring that to the holding system. So how we can do that? With Odoo spreadsheet. This should be the solution. What was the case before? They worked with a big Excel file, so we retrieved the whole information from the Excel file, the serial numbers of the machines, the financial accounts, the ledger groups for the holding system, and we had there different data sources. And we needed to bring the whole data to Odoo, that we then can create the reports and export at the end out of the dashboard to the holding system. That you can see quickly how it looks like, more or less. File like that with a lot of columns and different tables, which was linked to each other. Now, 1 second. Okay. So what was the challenge here? To prepare the data for the holding system, that was really time consuming, and as well difficult to consolidate the data and create reports for the holding company. And as well, it was not possible, like in Odoo, to have real updated data and bring it directly to the spreadsheet, where it retrieved from Odoo, and we can calculate with the data in spreadsheet and bring it to the dashboard. So how we can solve that everything and work with that for spreadsheet, because spreadsheet has real-time integrated data, which retrieved directly from Odoo, and we can later export the data to the holding system. We can as well add some customizable formulas, make it more pretty in the spreadsheet, and then add it to the dashboard. We can there see with a graph the KPIs and create the reports. And as well, we have the possibility to collaborate in spreadsheet. And for example, you can create a validation workflow and create activities or something like that. And how we did that in this case for this company, we created several models, and in the financial account created the mapping with the ledger group for the holding company, that we can map the financial account to the holding company, and several models that we can do the reporting for the regions, for the markets of the company. So how is the workflow there? We consolidate the data in Odoo, have everything in the pivot. For example, in the journal item, go to the pivot and group by the section which we need. Then we bring the data to the Odoo spreadsheet, make it more pretty, add some formulas if needed, do a graph, and then add everything to the dashboard. So we have the overview, and we don't need to adapt everything in the Excel, because we have done everything in the dashboard. So let me show you how we did that with example data in the demo. For example, I will create an invoice for the Blue Sky Holding. So it's customer, that's only example data here. And we created here some fields, serial number, machine, and end user, for example. And I have here a serial number with an F at the end that I can see, okay, that's my serial number for France. When I go inside, I see here my country, France, and the region in Paris. See the sub-market of the machine, sub-product, and so on. And now I want to add the product for this machine. This machine is located in a country, and in this country where the machine is located, I always order my my products to this machine. So for example, I need control panels. 100 pieces. Okay. And now I duplicate the window. I will open the journal items, and here I can open the pivot, and now I can group by the several fields, for example here. But to make it more faster, I already created the favorite filter for that. So for example in the market. And now you see on the left side I have the ledger groups and the codes for the ledger groups, and the financial accounts with the L, which stands for the local system, and the H for the holding system. I have here different markets, and you can see here my whole journal items. So if I jump back to my invoice and I want to confirm, I see, okay, the total is 2 million, for example. And this is for France and Paris. I group by the country, that we better can follow what happens here. So let me sort by the positive amounts. And you see France 78 million at the moment. If I go now back and confirm and click here on the search field and enter, I see this data is live updated here directly as soon as I'm posting the invoices. And if I go inside, I see the last invoice was mine, which I currently created. Invoice is validated here. And what I wanted to show, we go back here to the pivot. I can also insert this in the spreadsheet, create a new one. And here I also have the whole data. So now I can, for example, mark everything, insert a chart of it here, which is also related to the whole data and changes when as soon I posting an invoice, for example. Or I can add here some formulas. Okay. And now I want to add it to my dashboard. For example, this is now the journals with the region. And add it to the dashboard, to the finance section. And here I have always the possibility to see my chart, to come back to, for example, for Paris and France, and see the last invoice which was created there. I don't need to adapt here anything. I can directly, if I want later, export it from the dashboard. So if I, for example, add a field or add to the cell a link to my spreadsheet, like here, I prepared it already. I can open the spreadsheet and can directly download the file and bring it then to the holding system. Like here. Okay. So, minutes. If I go back now to the dashboard, you can see as well a better example for live data which is changing for sales. When I buy here, for example, 3D printers and I grouped it by the country, I see here, for example, the France, that I sold here 3D printer for 1 million, and here only in China 100,000. It's a better example like here for the journal items. Yeah, that's it. I go back to the demo, to the slides. So what are here the advantages of it? I have a lot of time saving because I don't need to prepare the Excel file every time. And same way I save my costs to 80%, and I have a lot of possibilities to scale up everything, to extend the tables. And I have error reduction because I have a central file and I don't need to download every time a new file here. Yeah, that's it. That was my presentation. If you have questions, feel free to ask me now some questions.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It seems like we do not have any questions on the pad now. So I don't know if somebody has questions. If you do not have any questions, do not hesitate to come see us at the end of the presentation here and ask your questions directly. Thank you very much for your talk.
Thanks. Thanks.
Oh, seems like we have one question now.
Okay.
Someone just woke up. I'm waiting for the question to write down. Okay. Why didn't you implement an interface for this project?
In this project, it was not in scope to implement the interface, but maybe later in a later phase of this project, right?
Okay, thank you. A lot of questions are arriving now. Okay, we just had to wait a little bit. Have you implemented liquidity planning via spreadsheets?
Can you repeat that?
Have you implemented liquidity planning via spreadsheets?
No, not in this case.
Okay. How do you handle multi-currency? How do you handle multi-currency?
Not the currency?
Multi-currency.
Ah, multi-currency. Related to this case? Yeah, I can't say that in detail now, but if anyone here in the audience want to ask me that later, you come talk to me after the presentation and we can talk about that. And then we check.
Okay, he says. I have a next question. This is still writing. So, if you add your own columns in between data columns and reinsert the pivot, your own columns are overwritten. How do you tackle this?
Can you repeat? So.
Okay. If you add your own columns in between data columns and reinsert the pivot, your own columns are overwritten. How to tackle this?
Good question. Yeah, that's true. So if I reinsert the pivot and everything is overwritten as soon as I reinsert it, I would duplicate the file and then add a new column and retrieve the information from the old table. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any workaround for linking spreadsheets with each other via VLOOKUP? Not supported in standard.
Sorry again.
So it seems like linking spreadsheets with each other via VLOOKUP is not supported in standard. Would you have any workaround for that?
With VLOOKUP?
For VLOOKUP, yeah.
Yeah, but what was the question with VLOOKUP? What is not supported?
Do you have any workaround for linking spreadsheets with each other via VLOOKUP?
Not sure at the moment. So yeah, if the person wants to ask me that after the presentation, feel free to contact me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And at the moment, does Braintec use spreadsheets in their projects?
If only we use spreadsheet in the project?
Or do you use spreadsheets in your projects?
Ah, yeah. Of course, we as well use it for other projects. For example, for internally as well, for our budget. So if we plan as a project leader, how far we are with the project and with the budget, we can check it with the sale order and the sale order lines and record everything with the timesheets. And if we are with the timesheets over something, then we see it in a field which is red marked, for example. Or we as well did a graph where we can control the interface, where we can control the transmissions to the interface to the third system then.
Okay. Next question. Any validation workflows possible with spreadsheets?
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, you can go to the documents and create an activity to validate the document and do this as a validation workflow. Or since version 18 now, you have the possibility as well to do a comment in the cell and mark your colleague and to check the file.
Okay. The previous question was a little bit explained, and so it's about accessing data from other spreadsheets or aggregate data across different spreadsheets. Do you have a workaround for that, or no? Because it seems like it's not supported in standard.
Across spreadsheet?
Across different spreadsheets. No, we'll
No.
go to the next question,
Okay.
and you will be able to discuss it
Yeah.
afterwards. And finally, do you have any comments on V18 spreadsheets improvements?
VAT improvements.
On Odoo 18, the new improvements in Odoo 18 about spreadsheets?
Currently not. No, I have to check it more in detail.
Okay, no problem. Well, thank you very much for your answers and for your
Yeah.
presentation, and thank you all.
Thank you.